You want to have a chat on camera from my YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, dude. What's up?
Nice to meet you, man. So, can you answer the question?
Just for like one day, like 24 hours?
For the rest of your life?
Probably not.
Why is that?
For the rest of my life, I don't know.
Okay.
I could cut that portion out of my life like that, you know?
So it's the meat then, right? That's your biggest thing?
It's the flavor of it. It's the
flavor?
fatty nutrients in it and stuff.
Oh, okay. So if you were able to eat to something that tasted similar or something like that, and that was vegan, would that be the only thing holding you back? Like we have Beyond Meat burgers and we have, like all these other things, eh?
That's true. But I might.
Yeah.
But I feel that like some things were meant to be eaten, you know?
Yeah.
And so if we cut that out of the food chain, then like, what are the cows going to do? Like, they were specifically bred to be. It's not like Texas Longhorns. Texas Longhorns and stuff. They're beautiful animals meant to like roam free and stuff.
Yeah.
But like actual meat cows were meant to be eaten, and I think that should be okay. But if like we could remedy that in some sort of way, then I'd probably just figure out just eat Beyond Meat burgers and stuff instead of.
Taking a look from the perspective of an animal, do you think that they want to die for your meal? Like if you were just happen to be bred for that specific purpose, to be a meal, do you think that you'd be okay with that? Sitting up on somebody's dinner plate?
I think without my knowledge, I'd be fine. Because ignorance, honestly, is bliss. So whatever they don't know won't hurt them. And if they just like live their lives, the best that they could, and then just at the end of it, ended up by happenstance on someone's dinner plate, I think I'd be okay with that.
Do you think that's what happens in the real world? Do you think that they just don't know what's coming and they end up just dead one day on a plate?
Kinda, actually, yeah.
Okay. So, do you know what a slaughterhouse is?
I do.
Okay. Do you think that the animals, when they go into it, that they just go in there and they're out, then they're done?
No, I've seen like videos.
They fight right to the last minute trying to get away from the knife, right? And the gun to their head?
It's a little upsetting.
It is upsetting, eh? And why does it upset you?
I just don't like to watch them struggle, you know?
Yeah.
It may sound a little bit dirty, but if you just come from behind them and like bonk or just like hit them when they weren't noticing, so they just like go without a fight. That's really quite.
So like a humane slaughter of some sort, right?
Humane slaughter.
What does the word humane mean to you? So like if you were to look it up in the dictionary, what does humane mean? So if I were to treat you humanely, what would you expect from me?
Manners, just being polite,
Yeah. Would it include knocking you from behind the head and then cutting your throat open?
No.
So how can you humanely slaughter an animal that doesn't want to die?
That's a good point, actually.
Because, is it really anybody's choice to not be vegan when we have an alternative? I'm not talking about the guy on the deserted island who's hunting for survival. I'm talking about the guy who lives in an abundance in a world where, we have all these vegan alternatives. We don't have to kill animals. Do you think that we have that moral obligation to do that?
No.
Why?
Because morality is sort of relative.
Okay.
Someone could do something abhorrent, but to them it might look good. So it's like a sort of relative thing. And with an animal, people like to treat themselves differently because a lot of people think that they're higher than other animals. And I live on a farm.
Sure.
Know how animals would feel. I helped my dad out with a lot of slaughtering, and it's not pretty and it's not fun.
Right.
I don't know if people want to do it anyways. I'm sorry, I'm having a very hard time.
No, it's okay. Hey, it's all good. Yeah. So you see, you come from a farming background, eh? And that's kind of the reason that you eat meat, because it's in your culture and stuff like that. So if you were born, let's say 200 years ago, and instead of a meat farm or dairy farm or whatever farm it is that you worked on, what if it was a slavery encampment? You know, like, because slavery was legal, right, at one point? And people took pride in that job, right? You know, like they had a bunch of black people working for them, right? And they're part of the farm. Would we consider that still legal and moral today?
No.
So, but what's the difference between enslaving and using black people versus using and enslaving animals for our personal gain?
There's no proof that animals can. Well, there's some proof. There's no proof that a lot of animals can like piece coherent thoughts together. Because like with humans, that's like different people, and I don't get why anyone thought that was like a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, but with animals, it's just so much easier to think, oh, it's just a beast. You know, it has 4 legs and horns.
Yeah.
It's a monster. You can just think of it as something else that doesn't have its own thoughts. It's just a mindless drone, and it just makes it a lot easier to kill, I assume.
Right, so we've conditioned ourselves to believe that, even though it's not necessarily the truth. I mean, they're saying that sentience is a thing for animals, right? Like pigs are smarter than 3-year-old children.
They are so smart.
But we treat them like they're nothing, though, right? So why is there in that inconsistency?
I can't answer you that. I actually have no idea.
Yeah. What's your definition of the word animal abuse?
Needlessly, like hurting an animal.
So what's an example?
Yeah. If your dog, you know, knocks something over, instead of just going like, you know, that typical punishment, like, a bad dog, like go sit down or something.
Yeah.
Physically balling up your fist and just clocking it multiple times over the head. That's excessive.
Right. And you said you've seen slaughterhouse footage, right? Where, you know, like some animals don't want to go into the pen where they get shot and slit their throat. What do they do? What do you have to do to get them to go sometimes? So would that fit the definition of animal abuse?
Yeah, I guess so. We had pigs.
Yep.
I helped my dad personally, like over the course of the entire winter. In the garage with blood, it's just
Yeah.
minus 20. It's disgusting. But the way my dad did it is that they were just like walking around, you know, and his 2 buddies like walked out with them, and then were just like acting normal, and then just as soon as quickly they looked at each other, nodded, put the guns down, shot them at the same time. They didn't expect a single thing, and I think that's a better way of killing the animals.
So if you had a choice between killing animals, not killing animals, and defending animals, which one of the 3 would be the best?
Killing, not doing anything, and defending. Well, it's always good to have like a stance on things. So like
Right.
not doing anything is just like just turning a blind eye is nasty, just a little bit abhorrent as a human being. But for the sake of like survival and eating, I'm gonna have to choose kill.
So do you need to kill animals to survive in this day and age? So why would we do it then?
I don't have a better reason other than that it just tastes good.
Yeah. So is that a good enough reason? What if I said, so pleasure basically is what you're saying, taste pleasure?
Yeah.
So if I said I got pleasure out of abusing women and doing bad things to them, would that be a good enough justification? If I were to go to up in front of a judge and said, you know what, Your Honor, you know what, I got pleasure out of it.
It's not
So how can we translate that over to the way we treat animals? You know, I appreciate the conversation. It's good. You know, it's something to think about, right? Do you have a cell phone on you?
Oh, of course I do.
I'll give you my YouTube channel, a couple more videos you can watch too, okay? And this may end up on it. And it's called Edmonton Vegan Outreach.
Edmonton Vegan Ouch.
Yeah, save that. You can subscribe, like, share, comment. Just check it out and see if there's some other good conversations. And there's one other one too. I usually give out cards, but I want you to watch this one video, okay? It's about an hour long. It's called The Best Speech You Will Ever Hear by Gary Yourofsky. Best speech you will ever hear. Gary Yourofsky. It's Yourski or something. I can't remember. As soon as you type in it, it should pop up. But watch that video, man. And you know what? It'll open up your mind. It's what I watched before I went vegan. I ate meat for 30 years of my life. And then 5 years ago, I watched that speech, and there was a movie called Dominion. And it basically shows you what you don't get to see on it. And you kind of know what it is. You've been working and helping out with slaughtering and stuff like that. But the thing that spoke to me the most is like, if I didn't want to do it myself, why would I pay someone else to do it when I don't need to do it? Survival situation, completely different story. But the fact is that we're breeding into existence 56 billion animals a year. And even if we killed one animal, it's too much. Because I mean, like, that's their life, right? So what reason do we have to take away their life from them? Nobody would want you to take your life away from you. You'd want to live, right? What if I were to go walk over and say, oh, you know what, I get pleasure from killing other people, so I go and kill one of them. Is that reasonable? Because it's survival, right? I need to survive. I need to eat meat.
No.
Human meat, right?
If you did that, I'd probably attack you.
Yeah. Well, and that's reason because it's why? Why would you do that?
2 of those are my best friends.
Yeah.
All 4 of them are my best friends.
You've made a connection with them, right? And that's the thing is you've made a connection, but why didn't we make a connection with animals, right? They're also sentient beings that want to live, and they have families too. And the best part about going vegan too is that once you finally make the choice to go vegan, you don't feel like a hypocrite anymore. And that's the thing, because you can't justify what you're doing, right? It's animal abuse, right? You even admit it, right? It would technically fit the bill of animal abuse.
I'm not smart enough to come up with a counter argument for that at all.
Because there is none. That's the thing, right? It was once you finally accept that and learn and say, you know what, I'm wrong. I had to do it to myself. I had to kick myself in the ass too. So, hey man, thanks for the conversation, Ben.
No problem, dude.
If anybody else wants to come over and try it out too, that'd be awesome.
Friends to come over.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Cheers, man.